Hey guys, gwyned here, doing a standard Pauper deck tech today for the Boros Heroic deck that I played in MPDC 2709. Special thanks to Dr. Chris Baker, DC, for this particular deck list. This is actually the top 4 match from that event, and my opponent is MyGalaxy. Let's get started. Alright, so I won the dice roll and chose to play first. And let's take a look at my opener. Got 3 lands, 4 spells, only 1 creature. So this is a little bit of a risky keep, but I am going to go ahead and keep it. My opponent mulligans to 6, so I'll start off and pop these Evolving Wilds and hope that I can keep myself from drawing really any more lands. Having 3 lands is plenty for this deck. Obviously going to get the white there so that I guarantee that next turn I can play the Bonkin. Draw onto the Trailblazer, but I'd rather use all my mana here and just go ahead and get the Bonkin out. Pass the turn back. Opponent plays Radiant Fountain. Haven't seen a lot of these lately, but probably means my opponent is playing the White Weenie deck, because that's usually the only thing that runs that now. Alright, so yeah, almost certainly White Weenie. Could be Blue-White Heroes, but probably just White Weenie. Drawn to Defiant Strike. This deck's interesting. It uses a lot of these cards that cycle themselves. The Defiant Strike, the Dragon Mantle. You get the trigger off of the heroic creatures, get to draw a card. Really has proven to be really, really good. Just one of the things that this deck operates with. Obviously, going to go ahead here and drop the Evolving Wilds. The deck only plays a couple of these, but just the fact that you get a nice little boost from the +1/+1 counters that you get on the Heroic deck is really nice. Nice little synergy that exists between those two sets. So here, I'm going to go ahead and play out the Lagana Band and go ahead and drop the Dragon Mantle on it as well. Go ahead and get that free +1 counter. It immediately gets first strike. Drawn to another mountain. Go ahead and pop the Evolving Wilds. Get another Plains. Thought about there swinging in with a Bonkin, but since this gives those +1/+1 counters, really doesn't seem like a good trade. He might not have traded anyway, but I think the right thing to do there was to hold it. So on my opponent's turn, he has Sungrace Pegasus, which is pretty good. The fact that it's flying and lifelink makes it very strong. And I draw into a second Defiant Strike here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Inferno Fist and swing in with just that one again. And then, while my opponent's tapped out, go ahead and use the Inferno Fist to go ahead and kill its Pegasus. They don't have a lot of really good answers for that Pegasus, so getting it off the board seems really good. And he finds a second one. So really, when you're almost in any deck, if they've got the ability to have a repeatable life gain against you, that's one of the things that this deck can have a hard time overcoming. So the life linker plus the flyer is something this deck just has to take care of when it gets the chance. Here, going to go ahead and get a 1/1 counter on this, just so that I now will be able to attack in with it, and obviously not using it on defense here since he's only got the Sungrace Pegasus. I'm going to go ahead and play out the Dragon Mantle on this one now. Again, just trying to hedge my bets a little bit. And draw into a God's Willing. This deck's playing 8 copies between this and the new one, Feat of Resistance, and they're just very, very important to the deck. They protect your creatures. They allow you to swing in unopposed. There's just so much that this card can do. And the fact that this one gives you Scry is also really, really strong. So here, I'm going to continue to swing in with the Lagana Band. Going to go ahead and pump it once. And for now, I'm going to hold the white mana up so I can hold up God's Willing. My opponent's going to swing in with just the Sungrace Pegasus, which is interesting. And then here, thinks about playing something, and then goes ahead and just passes the turn, so it means I should be wary for some kind of trick. Play the Crusader here, and go ahead and drop the Defiant Strike on it, cycle that card, give me another -1/- or a +1/+1 dude, draw into another God's Willing, and then here can just swing in with the team here, just leaving back the Crusader. See what trick my opponent has. Okay, gonna go ahead and block with his Heroic guy, which means he's probably got God's Willing here, or Feat of Resistance, and Johnny's Presence. Okay, so he basically is turning this into a 3/3 and making it indestructible. So here I'm going to go ahead and use the God's Willing on my guy just to keep him from getting injured. Keep him from dying, rather. Drawn to the Hoplite, which I go ahead and keep. And so those two just basically bounce off of each other, but I do go ahead and get in for 3 between these two. Should have pumped there. That was just a mistake on my part to not pump him. Should have him down to 11. So just pass the turn back here. The opponent continues to swing in for 1 with that little Pegasus, keeping his life total healthier, and has a Horde Chief. Another great card from Khans. Getting a 2/3 for 3 is fine, and then you almost always also get the 1/1 counter. Oh, I'm sorry, 1/1 creature as well. So definitely a good card for him. Obviously drawing into the Hoplite here. I'm going to go ahead and just attack in for now. See what my opponent wants to do. Looks like he just chumps with the Warrior. I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 of my red mana to pump the unblocked Trailblazer, and then use my final one to go ahead and drop the Hoplite here. Opponent's going to swing in with both of these, drop me down to 13. Kind of interesting attack there. But I guess if he's not going to block with it, he might as well attack with it. Has a Selfless Cathar, which will really allow him to swing in for some extra damage, but I'm not too worried about that. Still has 4 cards in hand, so could very easily have a trick here. Going to go ahead and Defiant Strike on the Hoplite just to boost it up to a 2/2. Or I guess a 3/2 rather, and that allows it to continue to swing in here since it's going to be able to survive even if he sacrifices Selfless Cathar. So he does. So the trick he was holding was Raise the Alarm, but that does mean that he can't pump the Madu, the Horde. What's this guy called? The Horde Chief. So he's just going to go ahead and chump these 2 guys here. I'll drop him down to 8 and go ahead and pass. No, went ahead and played out the Laguna Band Elder. I think my thought here was that I'm trying to make him think that I no longer have God's Willing in hand or anything like that, hoping that I can maybe swing in here for an Alpha Strike. He's going to continue to ping away at me, get 1 more life, and then it's going to go ahead. Looks like this is Triplicate Spirits, which is giving him 3 +1/+1 guys. But at this point, I'm going to be able to God's Willing my 2 guys with Fire Breathing and sneak in for the win here. So that is in fact what I do. Scry the Plains to the bottom. Scry the Chosen by Heliod to the bottom as well. And then swing in with these 2. Was probably a mistake there. No, it wouldn't have mattered. I couldn't have gotten in for lethal here. So I can just pump them up to a 5. Oh, no, that's exactly. Sorry, I miscounted. Yeah, so that was exactly what I needed to win the game. So as you can see there, God's Willing is really, really powerful. Not just the ability to protect your creatures, but particularly in these against a monocolored deck, the ability just to give these guys protection and swing in is really, really powerful. So that was game 1. I'll be back in a moment for game 2.